Ethereum pushes closer to Ethereum 2.0, and yet there's already blockchains that are doing a better job being proof of stake. But hold the meat, because look, I went to Longhorn this past weekend and also Texas Roadhouse. I know I was splurging over the last week. Wow, Texas Roadhouse is so incredibly better than Longhorn. Longhorn was terrible, medium rare. They just served me a cow that was still alive. But hey, anyway, I'm splurging on my big sirloin steak, right? But I'm completely off topic here. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Today we're going to be running through a new dApp, decentralized application that helps you earn yield. But exactly how does that work, along with this Ethereum news and a blockchain that performs better than Ethereum, all while showing you the coolest car you will ever see. My name is Vosk, you're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Let's jump into it. Full disclaimer, nothing in this video is financial advice. Venus made today's video possible. My name is Vosk and you are on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I'm a little hyped up, I'm a little excited, largely for numerous reasons. Regardless of market conditions, you keep pushing forward and doing some fun things and trying to make some moves. So I'm going to the shop today to take measurements. I'm super excited. We got a lot of the design done, really just fine tuning it at this point, but we're bringing a Bitcoin race car to life with a super cool company. You can support this crazy mission and get the latest updates on this by obviously subscribing on YouTube, but also following us on Twitter and getting up to $250 free in Bitcoin with BlockFi using our link. Another thing I saw on Twitter before we jump into the meat of this video is we got little Evan over here. ETH down 1% on news that Ropsten merged successfully. The crypto market is too dumb to understand that ETH and BTC have completely different risk reward profiles right now, but ultrasound money fundamentals will force the decoupling. And he says in the comments, people proving his point, and basically what that means is he's calling people in the comments dumb. We got Mr. BBT down here. We are in a bear market with a lot of recent failure and experiments. While Terra and Solana should not affect things for Ethereum, much of the attitude surrounding the confidence in the merge resembles the behavior of those networks. Call it reading the room, crawl, walk, run. Carter's very level-headed, very intelligent, and I completely agree with him here. I think that Evan shows huge arrogance here, much in line with Ethereum maximalists. It's just that stuff just kind of gets old. But yeah, Ethereum's Ropsten proof of stake testnet or test merge did go live. It seems to be successful, everything like that. They merged the proof of work chain with its proof of stake beacon chain on Wednesday afternoon. The goal of this is to prepare for Ethereum's mainnet merge, which is supposed to take place sometime later this year. As always, time will tell. The merge took place on Wednesday afternoon after the move was first announced on June 3rd there. But there's already a EVM clone, Ethereum virtual machine clone, basically an ETH clone and competitor that's been proof of stake and been performing well over the last year. That's going to be the BNB Chain. Okay, formerly it was just called the Binance Smart Chain. Now I guess it's pretty much just the BNB Chain. And on that BNB Chain, getting some love on Crypto Slate is going to be the lending and borrowing platform Venus Protocol and their XVS token, which has been integrated with Coinbase Wallet, a self-custody digital asset wallet provided by the US crypto exchange Coinbase. This is basically their version of MetaMask, if you don't know that. So they love DeFi, and their integration with Venus Protocol, the top lending borrowing protocol on the BNB chain, is now complete. So if you're like, whoa, slow it down, what the f are you talking about? Please watch our tutorial video guys on how to get started with MetaMask, how to sync it up and set it up with BSC, the Binance Smart Chain, or now just simply the BNB Chain. I'll be making an updated video, largely even just because of the name changes and some things like that, but it's still the same exact procedure. You're doing the exact same things. It basically just has a different name. Here's the key thing I want you to look at. The BNB Smart Chain daily transactions chart. So BNB Smart Chain right here, daily is still doing over 4 million transactions a day, 4.5 million really. And over the last month, we see an average here pretty consistent with 4.5 million. Okay, and let's compare that to Ethereum. Ethereum has been doing about 1 million transactions, maybe 1.1 million transactions per day over the last month. Keep in mind that Ethereum gas fees have come down significantly because less and less people are using Ethereum, which means it's less congested, which means it's cheaper to use. However, it's still very expensive, and you'll pay, incredibly more to transact on the Ethereum chain as opposed to the BNB chain. I'm talking the difference between paying 10 cents, 40 cents to paying $10, $40. But oftentimes even more, still in busy times, paying $100 for a transaction. That's very expensive. I'm not fudding. Look up the numbers, run it. It's true, it's accurate. I consistently transact on both of these blockchains. Enter Venus.io, universal money markets. It's supposed to be simple and powerful, community-driven finance for the globe. Look, I'm all about yield and earning interest, everything like that. They were also featured in Motley Fool, whether you like or hate them. Definitely interesting nonetheless. Venus valued at the time of their article 126 million. TVL locked on there is apparently 1.7 billion, indicating a market cap TVL ratio of 0.07. The TVL touched a record high of US $2.9 billion last November when cryptos were trading at a much higher price point. They launched on the BNB Chain. Venus is a stablecoin protocol that provides asset lending and borrowing solutions to users. They try to keep reinventing themselves, and I'll touch on exactly what that means here in a second. But so you log in, you can supply. Here's my test account, my public account here. We can see that it's very simple. We come down here to the supply market. There's a lot of advanced level plays you can make with borrowing cryptocurrencies and doing some DeFi, degen stuff. That would be decentralized finance degenerate, basically playing in the deep end of the pool with no floaties. In my opinion, your best moves here are going to be utilizing supply markets. You lend out your coins, you earn interest on them. You just have to trust the protocol and hope that they do well. And I'll talk about the security more, the pros and the cons of that later on in this video, but let's look at the APY. So UST, very controversial there, 22% rate. Keep in mind UST and Luna are being depreciated. Basically get out of there, which is probably throwing off this metric as well. Then you have other, we'll rank it by APY. You see Cake, TRX, ADA. DOT is also very high on here. I have a test balance in there, so you can see that it shows up here instead of down there. Whenever you do this, you put your coins in their protocol, and if their protocol is victim of an exploit, you will lose your coins. So make sure you understand the risk involved, right? Never risk more than you can afford to lose, just like investing, all that kind of stuff. It's more or less the same thing. When you do, say, put your DOT in, you give this protocol access to your Polkadot tokens, your DOT tokens here on the BNB chain. When you deal with BNB with these smart contracts, because it's the fuel on this chain, you don't have to enable like full BNB access, which is really nice. It's basically a safer way to test these things out and try them out. However, a lot of people know that, and oftentimes a lot of BNB, or if this was a dApp, decentralized application on the Ethereum chain, a lot of ETH would flow into these apps, and you'll end up with lower APYs because there's a higher supply. That's really just a bit of the basics there. As far as how they reinvent themselves and things like that, you can see how I clicked over to the vote tab, and they have what are called VIPs. So it's just going to be Venus improvement proposals here, just like BIPs, Bitcoin improvement proposals, and every other cryptocurrencies followed suit with that. And so they're already up to 64. You can see, like clockwork, they're coming out with like about a proposal a week, if not more. So when these come out, you can see all of this in the voting tab. You can see what they are proposing. We can see who is for it, who's against it, and who's abstaining. Only 24 addresses voted here. Massive voting power coming out of this one. Whether this is, core team, this is early investors, whatever. More people participating is always better. I would love to see some more reward mechanisms built in place to reward people who are voting, right? Incentivize the community to participate in decentralized governance here. We can see this VIP passed with just 3 addresses voting. Also understand that there's delegation, so you can delegate your voting power. So when you do that, you can delegate it to an address, maybe a figurehead in this community, or you could say delegate it to us, and then we could be voting if we're like really in tune and you're like, hey, I trust Vosk, I hope that he'll hold it down for us. It's like voting for a politician to represent you. Except in traditional politics, everything's pretty corrupt, but decentralized on-chain voting like this is very cool, exciting. It's a great just alternative, and above all, like development and progression with cryptocurrencies as a whole. There's obviously still things to be improved on, but I love the fact that they're operating with decentralized governance like this, even though one address seems to be really running the show. So pulling this up on VoskCoin, ridiculous name, very useful tool. On here, we can see they have a market cap right now of about $150 million. They have over $1.5 million of liquidity on PancakeSwap V2, another $500,000 on BuySwap, and then about 70,000, we'll round up 100,000 on ApeSwap. This is an okay amount of liquidity. Personally, I would love to see much more liquidity here, especially given their market cap sizing. But they do have a lot going on with their protocol, a lot of coins staked. So instead of being injected into things like liquidity pools and things like that, people are staking it and earning interest and whatever else. So it is making the coins a bit more scarce. It's creating that on-chain scarcity. So it reduces the available supply, and those kind of tokenomics can lead to an increase in price point, especially in the short and medium term. And they do have some lockup periods, which I'll talk about here shortly. In addition to the Venus XVS token, they also have the Venus Reward token VRT. This carries a market cap of only $9 million and only maintains about $18,000 of liquidity on PancakeSwap V2 right now. When it comes to VRT though, you can simply just convert it in their platform. So for example, if I've got 10,000 or 10,000 VRT here, I could convert that into almost an entire XVS token. So you can convert and then you can withdraw all right there. The actual SVX token is being distributed per this XVS market. You can see the rates here and how many XVS are basically being distributed daily and emitted, how much is remaining. We can see 1,500 XVS being allocated to BNB, BTCB, and then we have 750 to ETH here on chain, and the list goes down and is breaking down, correlated below. When we click over to the actual market, we can see the supply here. And so this is where that TVL, the total supply, total value locked, really comes from. So we see their supply, we see their borrow, we see the available liquidity, and also their treasury. This is an interesting metric because they also have VAI. What is the VAI though? So Venus enables decentralized stablecoin. Okay, make sure you understand the risks involved with all that stuff. Digging deeper into VAI here, the synthetic stablecoin. It's pegged to the US dollar. One VAI is supposed to be one USD. Using their V token metrics here, users can borrow 50% of the remaining collateral value they have in vTokens to mint VAI there. And these stable coins are synthetically designed through governance and added as a proposal. There are no underlying fiat reserves guaranteeing the value of the synthetic stablecoin. It relies on market forces, the basket of collateral, and safety mechanisms to maintain its peg to the fiat currency to synthesize. Basically, this is an algorithmic stablecoin, and they can adjust the parameters as they want or need to. This is the high risk, high reward potential scenario here. Much like Luna and UST, I'm not trying to FUD VAI here. As always, time will tell, we will see. Yeah, just make sure you understand that this is a very risky stable coin to get involved with, and that this protocol is built around VAI, XVS, and their VRT, basically these three main tokens that fly in this application. But to make you maybe feel a little bit better about Venus, which is currently trading at $5 a token right now, so $100 would get you an awkwardly even 20 XVS tokens. And per CoinGecko here, it says the market cap is 66 million, but maybe it's not accounting for all of the market forces that VoskCoin was able to pull up on chain. Hold on, I gotta collect my candies here. Thank you, sir. Digging around, they have a lot of information on their site, but it's a bit heavy, and I would like to see it kind of organized a little bit better and really just more about the actual Venus project and more of like an overview and kind of like a layman's term page, so it's easier for people to kind of get into this and understand. They do have a lot of the technicals explained. I mean, you start clicking on vTokens, you get a lot of informations down here. We start talking about EIP 20 compliant representation of balances supplied by the protocol by minting vTokens using one earned interest through the vTokens exchange rate, which increases in value relative to the underlying set it none number 2 to gain the ability to use vTokens as collateral. And let me tell you, that's the easiest sentence that you'll find in here. But the good news is they have an audit completed by Certik. They came back with a critical error, 2 major and then 1 medium. So the critical and major errors were mitigated. Okay, the medium, it's not resolved. 6 minor, 3 resolved, 1 partially resolved, 26 informational, 9 resolved, 1 partially resolved there. It's great to see them with an audit completed. It was revised just about a month ago. So pretty recent there. they are not utilizing Skynet, which is always nice to see. But ultimately, Certik is worth what, $2 billion now? Pretty insane. This is really the big go-to volume audit company, and they really seem to specialize in BNB Chain token audits. So this does instill some confidence in me personally. The main public team member you can find related to Venus Protocol will be Brad Harrison. He claims to be head of their special forces. So big DeFi destinations, he says, have done well. 15x growth in TVL in less than a year in some cases, 2021. And that was with less than 30 assets collateralized. And he's pumping up the hopium here with, what about 100, right? You know, more assets means more opportunities, more potential TVL, total value locked. Basically, you get the amount of collateral in your dApp up. It has more versatility, more utility. Really, just kind of simply put. Digging around, we see a little bit of information on Brad Harrison on Angel Co. His LinkedIn can be pulled up. Apparently, he went to Harvard University. He is in New York, and he's also looking for women in DeFi. Settle down, Brad. But in all seriousness, we see he's been the CEO here for Venus Labs since November 2021, and he was director of product management at Jur prior to that for about 10 months, and then before that ORM, Igniter, and then a product manager at Bank of America. Oh yeah, let's take down the centralized bank systems. Let's go. Looking at Venus also on CoinGecko, we can see that they've been tracking their metrics since October 6th of 2020. That's almost 2 years ago. It's up 202% since then and down a whopping 97% from its all-time high about a year ago. Let's just say I'm glad I didn't buy the tap. So as always, do your own research. I think BNB Chain is a great opportunity to get started in DeFi and dApps and really just, you know, get engaged. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars just to get started moving your coins around, going in and out of applications, claiming rewards, things like that. It's very easy to get started. I mean, seriously, just throw 10 bucks in, start playing around with these decentralized applications, and you'll be surprised, one, how much fun you have chasing these gains, these yields, also becoming eligible for future airdrops, being early users and adopters of different cryptocurrency projects. It just proves time and time again to be very lucrative and honestly very fun if you're a nerd and into this stuff. If you're a nerd and into this stuff, I hope you slap that subscribe button, stick around on the channel because we're still uploading daily, even though some people seem to be quitting. Oh no, no market condition can shake us out. As always, seriously, thanks for watching, and I hope I will see you tomorrow.